다 나서 님이 발라 남시 수투도 받아 남시 지부 마니스 남시 수투도 발라 미신 나실 제세 루시 이시 투들이 남시 지부 마와스디 발라 아니 남시 니기 자와지디 미시제 셰바데 남시 지부 이시기 자와지디 이시제 도스젠다 강바 첨보지나 샤르기군 비우지자이나 비우데 네 샤르는 따디가라 샤르기 비우 누존 따는 누조 비우서 도슬라단 신진에네 미시기 자와지디 미시 남시지 지란지기다 자완다미다 지디니 자와티기 개발도 다샤르마다 남시지마다 요마르스 송거라 왔다 때리스 송거 page 어디
258, the last sentence of the second paragraph. Not the second paragraph, I'm sorry, it is third paragraph, proponents of equal number of subjects and objects. The last sentence here said that non-pluralists are said to be of two types, proponents of six consciousnesses and proponents of a single consciousness. So the six consciousnesses, as you know, beginning from eye consciousness, nose, ear, and mental consciousness, six. They say that when eye consciousness is when we are seeing, that is the the apprehension is done by the eye consciousness. So each consciousness has its own function. But then this school also kind of says that there is a single consciousness. So the single consciousness, they basically says that when we do all different sorts of things, and that is actually done by basically one consciousness. There are no different kind of consciousness for each different. So they use the example of a monkey in the room with the different windows from different direction. So you look from different windows and you see there's a monkey, right? But that monkey is the same monkey whichever direction that you look from the window. So there's only one monkey inside, but it can just the function of kind of serve as a object of your perception when you look from different direction. Only one monkey, but you can look from different windows. So that is kind of how they say that basically it's a one single consciousness that kind of goes into different senses to does the function. So there's no different kind of types of consciousness. So this example of monkey in the room with different windows and directions, which is mentioned in the document of mind basis of all. It's the name of the text. Document of mind basis of all.
다 남순 발레나 디제단 디메 남순 니에스 심경오 마리 पाचा के टिमे लेबर ने बेने टीचे पास सिमयों मारे पाचा टिमे चुनसे क्या माले पर ने बेने टिमे पास ता टीचे बगे सिमयों ला यानी भागी मारी पाचा के टिमे लेबर ऐसे दुगवार उमा पे याल तदुल चिन्हता है सिमयों ला जिमे ले सोना ताये में बचा डूबा ता तीन दिवाला ताये में बजीना ता नामदे मिलूला है ने सिमयों ला जिमे ले ना इन जिमा भाई यार मारती ताना दिखतो आती नमजुम बाला टीचे जी तो टीचे पता दूसरे चिन्ह समताया तो ता कुरांगी सिमयों ला मारी पे पाचा के टीमे ले और तीन टीचे बसे गोरे सिमयों ला मारी पाचा टीमे माले बचे यानी टीमा दे लुबुरवा ही बात दूसरी दंगिन देला टीमे पास यहाँ ना सांगी इसार ने मारी पा मैं क्या ठुनंग ये बंदे बिना टीचे पा ता सांगी इसार ने ठुन नवा जाना अंदर चाकू आते लगे थे अंदर तो what Sangi Maripa or Maris, Maripata Pangrova, Tony Tapai, Ko Senzamela, Yondu Toyundi, Semitangi, Chini Toyundi Gala, Chiril Nawata Kekura. Nawata K on the Galatap, Chidini Zimbabwe K on the Gala, Chini Togo, Chini Tot Pagi, Croachinche, Maripala Manana, any the Yondu Tot Humarwa, Ko Yondu de Dankoni, Maribani, Miss Tap Pagi, Ribengalta Chadiora, or the tea in the Gala, Semi Mola. Sangi sana maripa miaje. Sangi sana maripa tuye na wayo bande bine tijepa. Yana sangi sana maripa me kya tuna me bande bina maripa me tuna me doginde intime paz dus chin dogo ate indi gala da chik phagi tijepa dela sangi sana maripa me kya tunang yu tuye na wa sangi Tronasha, we can search me there, and can search Roa. But that is also some tongue white chagoda. Yana Sinzabalena, Lungi Jetana, Ribe Jetangi, Lungi Jetan Sidigala, Sadenga. Any Ribe Jetan, Sema the Dingy Jeta, or the Dusine. Sadenga. Sidigala Jizun Jambang Umbenzeta, Senza Meranjongri. Jansa Caro, Sadengade. Chit Jansare Sadenga de Temason Sadenga Chit, Jizun Jambang Besure, or the toast. And Samadingi Gerard, those chile. Gee the chance I get to get them by Gee the Temas. Sumba Rajani teacher Sanzamba Jana, treat them just sing it into Mawana Sanzamba, Am Namripa, Najar Bajigo, and One Lamgi Chopa, Yimsalembala, and Bebana, Najar Chopa Vajaos. What are those chene? Dean Dashere, Tabayo Mare. Pagi Senzamba Kandichin is Senzamba Zone, Chitin Samgitani, Pagi Paja Sentabla, any Juans, Chitamje, Pagi, Chidin the Tuba Maimba, Nan Simgi Paja Sentabla Jua. The Rijawa Kangin was over Rang long church Cubate, Kanga, Rangi, Tumaimbe Le Sani, Dela Anipe, Susu Paja Sentabli, Tuba races Sungora, Senzambilla. Tani Tana Jirawat is Rangi, Tumu Le Sate, Lazy Tumu Naja give a lazy rang Masana. Tani this will unit the Tagire Sungwa. Each and Kunji each and a yare. The Suji Le Masana, and a bay unit the Tagire. Rangi Tumu may be less on any long church give a late. Lesane, the lady Paja Setably, any zero continued by any Pekanga to Vares, Sungo, or Tati. Listen Rangi the Vivana Senzam
Karina Yosung.
Kuji.
Sadengal de Judy. Ninjuju Besaten over Duat Letiru, she do.
What is Karam?
Ninjuju Besaten over Duat, she do watch it, Namdan do watch you, go do.
What is it? Chansamidi.
Chansamidi.
She do go to a Namdan, Najatel Betua.
Page 258, it is said that, last paragraph, it is said that the false expectations are of two types, tainted false expectations and non-tainted false expectations. It is said that tainted false expectations are so called because they assert that the nature of the mind is polluted by the latencies of ignorance and that and that non-tainted false expectations are so called because they assert that the entity of the mind is not in the least polluted by the latencies of ignorance. So when you look at this kind of types of sub-school of the mind-only school, you can also look at this with the understanding of the high school of thoughts, middle way consequent schools, because according to middle way consequent schools, as you know, the nature of the mind is pure, it's luminosity, knowing. So the nature of the mind itself can get never mixed with delusions or get tainted. So here the tainted false expectations are saying that the nature of the mind is polluted by latencies. So they are saying that the nature of the mind can sort of intertwine or polluted or mixed with the ignorance. So you can then kind of with the understanding of the mind only middle way consequent school, you can raise the questions here. So if that is the case, then the ignorance is ignorance kind of something that we can eliminate or not. If that is the nature of the mind, how can we going to eliminate that kind of question you can raise against this sub school, because that is what middle way school says. The nature of the mind is pure, so all delusions are temporary. Therefore, delusions can be separated from our nature of the mind. Or page 259, second sentence, according to another interpretation, it is said that the tainted false expectations are so called because they assert that although there is no ignorance at Buddhahood, they are mistaken appearances. And that non-tainted false expectations are so called because they assert that because there is no ignorance at Buddhahood, there are also no mistaken appearances. So this is also kind of strange, a way of interpretation. They are saying that at Buddhahood there is no ignorance, but there is mistaken appearance. So it seems to be kind of self-contradictory. So further, proponents of mind only can be divided into two types: followers of scripture and followers of reasoning. The former are followers of Asanga's 5 treatises on the grounds, and the latter are followers of Dharmakirti's 7 treatises of prime cognition. And the 5 treatises of Asanga's or 5 works of Asanga on levels of attainment. These are, grounds of yogic practices, compendium of ascertainment, compendium of bases, compendium of enumerators. 5th one is compendium of explanation. So if you really want the list, you can just ask me after the class. I'm just reading from this book, the 5 list. And also so the 7 treatises on prime cognition, there are 3 major, kind of major body of the text, and then there are 4 branches. So the 7 treatises on valid cognition, I will also just read. If you want the list, you can ask me after the class or during question session. The first one is, this has 7 works of Dharmakirti on the study of valid cognition. The first one is commentary on valid cognition. Second is discernment of valid cognition. Third is drop of reasoning on valid cognition. Fourth is drop of logical reasoning. And fifth is analysis of relationship. Sixth is establishing alternative continuum. And seventh is science of debate. So these are the 7 treatises of valid cognition. Etymology, page 259, last paragraph. Why are they called proponent of mind only? They are called proponents of mind only and proponents of cognition because they propound that all phenomena are of the mere entity of the mind. Also because they settle the practice of the deeds of the path from the yogic point of view. They are also called yogic practitioners. So as said before, I just said this is also mentioned in the document of mind basis of all document. If nobody if nobody creates a karma, if there's no creator of the karma or then everything becomes a sort of result of causeless. So if there's a result, it should be preceded by causes or factors and conditions that generate that result. So kunshila sui le masane yume thegilso.
Rarang long la chajir ki rito kangila sona rarang tumo mai bele sawores. Ti lama sana ene be tumo long chajir ki rito kangila soba ene be dile de samena ni yume de thadu kore.
So each individual has enjoy or rely upon or use different resources like houses, mountains or hills or water body. So these all happen because of the karmic action that has been preceded. And these are the results that we experience. So if there's no karmic activities created before, then there won't be any result. The result should be result of the something that happened before. So here they says that we created karma, and then karma kind of stays as a mental imprint within the mind stream. And when that mind, mental imprints, awaken, then we kind of, actually, sees the object, interact with the object. So kind of, lesa and pauja se pauja se do.
Pauja galope, ni pauja se do. They na so na le long to jet to.
So the karmic, activities, the result, how we enjoy a result is because first, it has to be started with the causes, so we plant the seed, create the karma, and then that karma, as said before, kind of stays with our mental, stream of consciousness as a mental imprint, and that imprint later, encounter with the factor and causes, it kind of ripens. And then we are able to enjoy or experience the result of the karmic activities that we created before.
Penna di ta ambisi ki di kamba de sacha de sana de kamba sana de manatu ambisi member ka jo ina te jo thumongi longchocher ki chadi yore ina yang thumo mai ba tirin longchocher de ngajun din yongin jo longchocher tinga manga ma le sa che le sa de tirin pasha se to ngajun longchocher to ba.
So the simple example would be the IPC facilities. These the IPC facilities is something that IPC members enjoy, and we come here and use the facility. But the IPC facility right now that we are using it, these limited numbers of people in this room, and although IPC is meant to be enjoy or experienced or used by the its members, but at this moment, we are the only people here who are using this facility, And this is because of the karmic activities that we created before, sometime in the past, and that cause came into sort of at the surface, and we are here kind of using the IPC facilities.
저선 렌디 타진 타와 신고를 수송도. 당하로 비린 맞아 미주지 니 강바드 롱제기 레데 까디 사가래. 간디시 사가르즈 라베나 당하로 비는 수지라 라트게요 말에. 다들 상기냐지기 주일 차대요. 근데 마도 디 리베 따지다나 맞아 버트야요 말에. 이게 생거디 따지다나 버트야요 말에. 오다 비장실 주지다나 버트야요 말에. 이 상기냐지기 주일 차대요. 신권주 차대요.
So if we go into kind of really deep level of the connection of karmic activities and the result, like today we mentioned the example 11 people here using these facilities. So if you ask when did you create this karma and how did you create this karma in order to kind of experience this activity today at this moment, the answer would be we commonly comes under the category of extremely hidden phenomena. So this we won't be able to give answer to this question with the logical understanding. We won't be able to do that through logical analysis. So here we say that this is the subject or things that can understood only by the enlightened beings. This is beyond the ability of the wisdom or analysis of the ordinary beings.
대마세병아 저 톰니 발레 중이오나 발레 때다 왜 개발 수 유간내지래 발레 되게 유 루시데 인베시 지자로 저지다 루시다 인반 루이 개발 간데지요래 조바비 개발 간데지요래 듀이 간데지래서래 애니 디나니 가르가르여지 디디기 개발 공기 취지산에 발레디 안 신도 건주린 숨가 대 상기 야기 저기 제일마다 양아저 미기 지딩이 예전에서도 라투야 백하버려 대 야제준 백하버려 대 디즈리야 동원줄이 있나 그 체주 망고 상대긴지 야 신고도에 두었어 그러는 기초까지
So
인도 발레도 동원줄이 가서 자기 아래 동고 아래 롱주거 아래 자기 얼와 그건 계속 망보지 한 신고 차대요.
So the nature of the phenomena, although some things are something that is kind of, at the manifested level that we understand very clearly, but when we go into more kind of deeper on that very object, then that same object becomes kind of extremely hidden phenomena for us. For example, the bread that we bought from grocery shop, and the bread, we know that it's a wheat or white flour, and then we know that we eat it and we do all sort of things because we know that this is a bread. So the identity of the object being a bread is very kind of obvious to us. We know it is bread, so therefore we are doing whatever we need to be doing with the bread. But if you go into more kind of, as said before, more deeper, what are the exactly ingredients and who made this bread at what time, and what are the qualities of that bread maker, and if you go into the deepest level of all kind of things that needs to be understood at that on that bread, again that becomes extremely hidden phenomena. For us, we won't be able to come to the conclusion through using a logical analysis. We won't be able to tell exactly, using a microscope or kind of. So these are again kind of. So this can happen like that. Or the bread itself is kind of, something that we can perceive, easily. But when you go deeper, there are lots of things that are beyond our kind of, understanding of the ordinary beings.
단 디소 공라 개빈 되수도 그러나 개빈 되수도 가려는도 공바시도 가려는도 대상 단계로마다 시라지라게 제바제나에게 말했어와 개빈 되수 개빈 어디 공바시도 또 상당하게 아게 직 때마다 다 이번 되술라 이슬람 대부 숨레스 담볼로 유대 유진이 율 쓰다 율들라니 시자 담지 승이 숨든 뒤버더데 다 선잠에 두모만이 받다게 그 상황만에 양양도 유인되래 가르쳐 놓고 선잠에 두모만이 바인다 군다 정왕 용줍스데 승이 숨대시 거래 어디 가주지 또 시자 담제니 승이 숨나만 뒤에 시자지 균이자도야 말해 어디 뒤인디가라 뉘제 담제 정왕 중인 담제 용줍 대리점 바꾼다 순대비지. 다 뒤시제베. 다 영왕라 영왕스디 귀겐 쟁기왕비. 귀단 깬라 때니 둠대긴지라 영왕스 거래. 용도 시디가라 강 영왕 띠장도 춘이 뗄람베비 답지기 춘이지라 용도 시 거래. 다 군다 스디가라 중이디기 바긴 각자 미주 군다들이 리펜 가자에는 매비캬브리 인디가라 바기 선잠벨루나 우주도 선마 제젠도 투바 우주도 또 베제랑 싱이 투바 오 우주 치럭던도 투바 어때 쪽던가 거기가 용 미주 군다 차디요 아니 남칼라서 바티기디 유유군다 차대로 군다이나 미유군다 영고 말에 유유군다요래 어떻게죠 군다스도 텔레샤고로 어떻죠 또 내가 좀 선자별로 내가 정보자대 대숨보랑원이 마투바당 라징기 투반도 랑원이 투바당 라징기 투반도 양 렘버 마투발 개버리요대 다 영왕 용투 군다 숨가 랑원투 라징기투 이 원장 영왕 용투 벤투 군다 치 데메 데마르마투바스 다 군다 기치 데메 시디갈라 소 메규 군다를 온바제이나 루 치를 뜬도 안한서 나 파기네 나가야지 단당아주 저세선이는 파긴 통과라. 파긴 통과라. 파긴 나지도 파기를 여러분 이거 말했을래 거라. 나 생기 빠져 센터블 파긴을 난 요마도 파긴이 요 말했어. 파긴이 요 나진지 난 나진지 파긴이 요 얘나 치르던도 뚝소네. 두째텔에 만데 바래. 어디 되지. 그래. 군다데메 tontamra matu gya tope ngo tubate kunda kisingi odate kunda khona singi la tontamra matu gya tope pha lwe phagi tope ngo la lo tope ngo la tumdenge lo tope ngo la jaya ta migyu kunda zene toru tope phagi tubsen dindiji tapa thasu tumna dindiji tubse ji resaya mato ko logi jachaya mato khorangun 두야 깨게 말아. 남카존지나 동성이 차들라 남카를 따바를 마도 배 도배 발로 방에다 따샤를 마도 그 동성이 차고 코라는 마도 따샤 교지를 마도 양 코랑원이 즉 배기 유단 현다 땡릴 때는 좀 되긴 땡자원이네 메서로. 다 진다이나 그 영왕생인데 유견을 때는 좀 보다. 아니 용두기 용두기 이지고라 용두 때는 밥이지 telena namra kunta tingyoso jibe kunta nisi namra kunta la shija ta jipagi shija da tapada to kanga ja chogre Nibane Rangi Tabu Serigala Pagi Gajak Karsawa Miyukunda Terida Zuchirul Tundutuba, Zuzun Tavi Rangatingi Tuba Zu Tanzun Tema Zejin Tuba Zichi to Matu Zejin the Tupsona Kundach Hasan Zichi to Zejin the Tuya for Yomar Yoya Tatapata Zungi Yona Zejin to Tuachi Yona Tikundari.
Page 260. Assertions of tenets. This section has three parts. The assertion on the basis, paths, and fruits. So before that, when text tells about the interpretation by different scholars, we need to actually know. We need to study and learn actually what the scholars' interpretation are. There is no kind of analysis, or you just learn kind of this is what that scholar says and this is what that scholars interpret. So that is how we learn kind of so assertions on the basis. This section has two parts: assertions regarding objects and assertions regarding object possessors. Assertions regarding objects. The proponent of mind only assert that all objects of knowledge are included in the three characters. So three characters, three phenomena, three qualifications. We mentioned three definitions. We mentioned this a lot before. So in your note it says these are other powered characters, thoroughly established characters, and imputational characters. These three are also called three natures. So other powered characters we mentioned before. Other here refers to cause and conditions. So things that rely upon cause and conditions for its existence are basically called other powered phenomena. Thoroughly established characters refers to the emptiness on that object. And imputational characters is the things that is imputed on the imputed by our conceptual thoughts. It doesn't exist. It doesn't actually exist way it appears to us. So this is so because they assert that all compounded phenomena are other powered characters, all compounded phenomena, or the other transition, all composite phenomena. Composite here refers to again sort of same things, that is the result of cause and factors. Compounded phenomena are other powered characters, and that the real nature of all phenomena are thoroughly established characters. Here says emptinesses. The emptinesses of whatever phenomena is, according to this school, is thoroughly established characters, and all that all other objects of knowledge are imputational characters. So other than the first two, whatever is left, this is comes under the third category, that is imputational phenomena or things or characters of definition. Except for emptinesses, all are impermanent phenomena. I'm sorry, I'm reading the note. This is not in the Tibetan text. Page 261, middle sentence. They assert that the three natures exist in their own right and exist inherently. However, there are differences with regard to whether the natures truly exist or not, because the proponents of mind only assert that imputational natures do not truly exist. So, imputational natures do not truly exist, and that both other powered natures and thoroughly established natures are truly established. And here we go on to the definition of an imputational nature is that which does not ultimately exist, but exists for a conceptual consciousness. When divided, imputational natures are of two types: enumerated or existent imputational nature, and imputational natures whose character is nihil, that is non-existent. So existent and non-existent imputational character. So imputational, so as said here, imputation nature is that which just does not ultimately exist, but exists for conceptual consciousness. So according to this school, when you look at the table, the tableness or that object kind of exists only in the conceptual thought. It doesn't exist out there independently, totally separate from consciousness. There is no external object of that table out there. So according to this school's interpretation, and so if a table exists, kind of totally, independent from the conceptual, consciousness by itself, then this is what is, what this school is trying to kind of, negate. This school has said at the beginning that no external object, whatever you see out there, things, phenomena, it is actually, mental imprints, reflections of mental imprints. They are not, so external object, external object is something that is negated in this school, and object and the consciousness of apprehending that object, having two separate entities, also negation in this school. As said before, object and the consciousness apprehending that object has the same entity. They do not have two different separate entity. An example of an existent imputational nature is object of knowledge. Examples of non-existent imputational natures are the two selves.
namkala soba thagi tobe jatang karzana tongsang cha khona dala namkhase ta par mado ya namkhase zudu ke yamare ko jawana ji gude ken la tende tunde ke maro tongsang khona namkhase pa tobe ja share.
So that exists only at at the conceptual consciousness. So the example would be a space. The space or sky, according to this school, is when they when there is a space or lack of things obstructing, basically when there's space, that nature, we designate it, this is a space. So that is how we call this is a space, this is a sky. And it is not same as when you look at the other power phenomena. In order to be a space, it doesn't have to be rely upon causes and factors, and you don't have to all these different kind of conditions that is needed. And space is something that we just conceptually designated, something that has a quality of being space. So we'll stop here, and if you have any questions, we'll continue with the two definition of nature next Sunday. Two remaining thoroughly other-powered phenomena and thoroughly established phenomena. Yeah.
I'm having a real hard time understanding mental imprints.
Mental imprints.
I know it should be simple, and I'm just falling all over myself. I can't figure out if it's a memory, a physical memory of an object, if it's an emotion related to an object, or if it's more of a karmic effect of something. someone all over it.
the Paja la show the Hakwell Kangi bed to Kangi Tatus, Kante the Pajal and Kantejala Shakuana, Hakumundas, Dajing Azuki Tembato, which you can take Shakuana, Yamnaji, Sorwa the Jawa Major Shana, Yamna Lake, and take one gig, some down or some big window, Kantejil, Tapaja and Kantej, hello, Lela, which Tony Kantejil Covers.
Pede Kunji Chinale, Pede Kantejir, and a Pachadi. Wajeta Vujizati or Pede Indigenous Jagdu Sirwa. Opa de Gondina Opa Zogurwa. Opa the Zode, Opa the Pede Unayang, the Gondina la Opitima de Gituas. Any Pagi leg moon Ganayang, Pagi Chick Nubadi, Simdana Ba, Chick Pachang or Penny. Mise umone ini pajang ngono ta namba masal ne chini salame chini khu pajang ngono phudi gyor se sungwa re kanji gondi nala timara da phote se sungru si opati thoe me cha gor ta opati ma tung de gor wa tin da phote sungru.
So, should I mention the example that he said before, actually, the garlic, there is mentioned in the text, the mind basis of all document, crush or grind garlic in the, pistol, and then when you take out the garlic, the smell is still there. So, with that, metaphor, when you look at the mind, leg mo guard the Zumba sim getting leg all over Candelo. Java Karjana, Javati mo gagor, kui tap Pagi lady Zipati Pachangol in Rosagora. Wondi Nana, open mea chana, Wopitima de Tadum de Gores. This on a lay Korangungana, lay the Pachamol photogors. So, when you are creating a, action, when you're doing something, and when you're doing something and you stop doing the, whatever you're doing, but at that time, the potential of doing that action or the ability to do that action has not completely, diminished or not disappeared. So the potential remain sort of. So that potential or ability remains on your mind stream as a mental imprint. So there's a still kind of there's no the karmic action is already ceased, but the imprints of that karmic action still kind of stays with the stream of consciousness. So. Is that clear enough? I don't know.
Tandang around the Michi living in Zotawatome. Zotawatome, any Zotawa de Pe, Shivuji Kyornare. Kyorna the Anguchi, Zonizikaji, Chachi, Katina, living in Jusi, Tabutan, Degi or Suba. Chega Chadako Katina, Yusachi la class, Nengandoguas. Sega Notigalataco, Drade Tuni, Kato Tungin Bardo, Jamadela, Mi Kene, Zatape, Lela was zoom to Brisido. Cook Pachati, Pagin Dratic Pachati, Yoinza, Pachara Ponin, Date Koi, Pachara Potin Dayenda. The court Rosa teacher didn't Jigo, Kazazuna, zoom to Gomar Suba. Pacha singly, Kache. Nipaji Pagi Chadi or the Niji Sunda.
Same with Nicola.
Or Semdang Nubajil. Going Nubajila.
So, it is a mental imprint is a potential or ability or capability of our mind stream, of our mind, to make it simple. So, Vasubandhu, when he, recite his root text of the Abhidharma, kosher text, he recites every day, and in his residence there is a pigeon, staying, so the pigeon kind of hears every day that, Vasubandhu is reciting. And later when that pigeon, reborn as a human, up to the chapter where he has been listening to, Vasubandhu's recitation, he can memorize very quickly. There's no problem because, because of the mental imprints that he has, created from that, listening to that, kind of, recitation. And from the chapter that he is not used to listening, he's having really, he couldn't memorize easily as, because the difference here is because of the mental imprints that he carried, from the past life, and that is how kind of mental imprints is considered as functioning. So it can happen with a lot of, other activities.
Lunga gileste, lunga ni luedeto, toso, chik, lengonga sina, that kuitset doa. Ilezorigina, that betega pagi more tamocha de repe, ile jela masaba gunja jatu gormarwa, delitacha de ore. Tindi gazo kani. Semni charna khani should be a kabocha there. So
Chela Masa was how Shatu Gomez.
Jatuya Marchesa Sam Cabre, Elena. Tindi was a semna catuina, semna, chick sembanga, but a milla joatsu, but an tatakan, semni samatayate, newer than Jogata, lady pet, Tuchamuchagor, the Indugala, let me see what Zapsachor taking also. Legion Gamanga Lulison Ginada, Tos Rapa Indi, Hakoya Chendo.
And when we look at the how we create karma, and then karmic action kind of remain as a potential, or power on the mind stream, consciousness. When we look at the three, type of how we create karma, physical, verbal, and mental. Physical and the verbal is kind of, more obvious and easy, because we can say that, you did something and then you stop, and then from that stopping of whatever you are doing, it's easy to know that, you're aware of, ceasing of the karmic activity. But for the mental, it is really difficult, because the nature of the karmic that we created through mind is so subtle. So when we look at how karmic activities are created, we categorize into different ways. So one is karmic activity which is accumulated, which is executed but not accumulated. So there are different ways. So for the mental karmic activity, there is no karmic activity which is executed but not accumulated. But there are karmic activities, which is executed but not accumulated for physical and verbal. But for mental, there is no such karmic activities. So here, whatever karmic activities that you created through mind, it is considered as executed as well as accumulated at the same time. So that's the reason why we should be extremely careful in the thought process, because the karmic activities that we created through our mind is so extremely quick, so strong. It's not like creating through physical or verbal.
Jorwat Jenny, Mujimoto Yomuto. Mujitumnea, Josach Mushina, Lemsan, Tado Chitoa. The Lulela Ilela, Timindo, Male Jina, Zinkia, La Tamputari Chegura, Pagizin, she had Tari Chazanche, any Pagila, then Quachini, Zundi Cage, Gortan Shevach Kugura. Kevachini. In the Golope lady, Gaya la Tos Cardinal, Gunjinga, Jongo Jusum Samatang, and Kevachambujakadua. Ile Gunabidate. Samatagam Pet Joang Mujin Sungatu Sorofet, Fidabachazar. Tindigala, Lemons and Lamas, Ile Missive, Ile Pe Chesamatama Jagmido, the mother. Jesa Sala Machevele, Chela Masabele, Masa Machebele, Jesa Samile said Suda. Ilene Jesa Samile in the Chavda. Tabajanda Nale, Lila and Depe, Mambu Chavra Mambujato.
Also, when we look at the karmic activities in terms of how they are created, probably when you create karma, the complete karmic activity will be created when it is composed of, when it contains all components that is needed, mainly three parts: what is intention, then actual, action, then conclusion. So for the physical activity, it's really kind of easy, to kind of go by step and step, and kind of conversely, you can stop, from in between step. So, for example, when we look at the act of killing, you have to have, first thought process, I'm going to kill. Then you, go to, to the actual wherever, you need to go and kill. And then, so, when you go through this, process or the step by step, first you generate, when you want to, kill somebody with a strong, intention, you can, purify that thought later. The next step, you can, the next step necessarily doesn't have to be go to the second, kind of actual act of killing, and so even if you went through all three steps, you can generate a strong sense of regret, antidotes, and there's a purification that you can stop at any step. And likewise, it's same with the verbal activity. For example, if you want to tell a lie, you need to start with, what sort of lie that I'm going to tell, the kind of words, you need to do some kind of preparation, and then it has to go through step, whoever that you are going to tell, go to that person, or maybe, through kind of, whatever channel, and then the conclusion is, you need to make that person understand that what you are telling, that you are cheating thing, If you didn't understand exactly what you want to cheat, then that doesn't become a cheat, right? So the conclusion should be completely understood that other person got cheated. So in between, there are a lot of ways that you can kind of, skip out or cut off. But for the mental, karmic activities, once there's a thought process, all three, steps are created, at one same moment. So therefore, you can see here, and the thought process, all three steps are created, not only created, but they are created with very kind of good quality, completely. So therefore, the Lamrim, stages of path, masters, when they teach, they kind of, remind followers, especially kind of, be aware of, mental, karmic activities, special cautiousness, because as I said before, when we look at the physical and verbal, the karmic activities that we created can be kind of, executed, not accumulated. Accumulated, not executed, could be both, neither. So there are many different ways that, the nature of the karma itself. But for the mind, it's just one. You created kind of, as we said before, there is no karmic activities which is, executed.
아니 개비 디파 지나양 lumbi dipa yang na chi sung da kar jana mi 개바이나 렘산 게샤지 두고 가라. 샤바지 두고 가라. 아니 고 지금 떠나시라 맞은데 너는 왜 양모지 지나고 뺏게 전부 자로 거는 게 뭐만 샤바마치 디가라 데 베든 디네샤도 짜리 이나 춘춘지나 취띵는 거 그래스 렙렙지나 전부 이나 코치 에 띵는 도도 말 추강할 띵그리스 뭐 개바들 짜 렙렙 zon데 지체 lum보디 자 춘춘이나 리리지나 띵는 거 그래서 그래서 그게 전부 와 어떤 균도 그 여와다 게임도 돼 균도 그 보여 근처 되어라 또 가지 렌델 여와다 게임도
this is not exactly related to the questions, but this is something that is needed to kind of know in general our practice. And among these three, the mental is considered as the most intense negative activity. If you create it, mental is most intense. So there, it's a kind of in the practice. There's an expression saying that negative activities created by learned scholars, even though they are intense, but they could be still very light, because they know how to kind of make it light, and pure. And so the example is like dropping, if you throw piece of metal, round small, it will just go straight to the bottom. That is like a negative activity is created by people who are not so kind of good or but the same metal, if you just make it flat and throw it on the water, it won't sink quickly, it will just float. So that is how scholars can deal with the creation of negative karma. Two more questions, 1 and 2. Okay.
I'm confused about how consciousnesses interact with each other in the mind-only school. So if a cup arises with the consciousness that perceives it to one person, how is it that all the people can see the same cup?
선선배 룰라 시에백이 저와치당 가르치고 그래서 배치시는 건도 제가 지금 다 버리시나 미지기 시에바되기 다 갑직 통보로 또는 더 통주로 오실래기로 그디 통주디 통단디 강사 망부직 때 버리시나 강사 탐제로 통난 직보 연구로에 통난 만다만다 여러 대 선선배로 간주시려고 그래서
선선배로네 레디 선선배 킬링 거 왔어 레 만다이나 텔레페 레트는 통난 만다테
So mind-only school, they also accept cause and effect precepts, karma, law of karma. So although many consciousness are looking at the same object, because of the different karmic backgrounds that each individual has, there could be different ways of perceiving it, or there could be different ways of consciousness functioning, within the individuals. So there could be differences, of the consciousness.
Pejana, chumden degi kuza rangi degi, gelen lekargi, chumden le senzambo sumji tengi de peje zambo kichu gendi ba, kyun thonga mar khona le ngambe wangi. Bet tega chumden ni kyun shiji mato yende kyun jelga mare. 다 중가오 구자래 군가오 나 뺏 중된데라 잠베 있는데마다 양킨지가 엄마 그래 레 제발 차서마 중된데 그런 천삼부 중주생이 상계는 천삼부 중주생이 뺏어 잠부기 이게 말와 이거 거랑오니 대도 선자 맥힐링으로 와
성격이 차오래
니가 이제 차오래 인데
네
지들리 다디를 지들리 냠바요로 लेकर ते लोटा के बरो
कसंदो
गलो लेकर सिंग लोटा के बरो लोनी सेंगा न्यम तंदे पेट का लोटा के रे शुरू क्यों इंदे मजाट
the example would be two cousins two cousins of Buddha Shakyamuni himself, and one Lekar, for 25 years, it's considered that he, kind of had a wrong view, basically. he's with the Buddha all the time, but he never sees the positive qualities of Buddha. We talked about 32 major signs and 80 minor signs. He never sees all this, and he always sees Buddha with all bad qualities, nothing positive. But on the other side, Ananda, same, all he sees only Buddha's positive qualities, and all these signs. But when we look at the object itself, the Buddha himself, this from the Buddha himself is nothing different to these two perceivers, but because of the karmic sort of background, and therefore the consciousness, or the two consciousness seeing that same Buddha kind of appears different to a different person. So here this mind only school accepts this way of looking. Last question.
My question was a continuation of what you had answered 2 weeks ago. We were talking about mind only and middle way don't conflict, because they seem like they conflict to deluded minds, but it's like Maitreya can't tell a lie. So all these different tenets are for all of the different mental capacities, and Geshe-la had explained all of that, answering my question 2 weeks ago. My thing with that is, as Dharma students, shouldn't we also be looking at, what are the different mental afflictions of all the different people? Because it seems like, if Buddha's the doctor, Dharma's the medicine, it's like we're studying all of these different medicines, but then we don't know about, what are the diseases of the patient.
그런 저 등에 그런 저기 교회에서 된다는 얘기 무튼 조신서로 그래서 심상바도 오마베비의 두대기 시주쇼로 네다 등이 바랄 니가 도쇼로 견다 용 마용 용 먹어도 시에서 용 마시로 니가 다지 칼로 그래 중공다 되지 내가 다지 강사 배발라고 그랬다 마싱이라고 근데 묘다 등이 가가시고 개발요 근데 통고해서 근데 또 당한 저기 추칭에 로변제 배제당에 진배찬에게 아니 다지기 근데 강사 도저 통등에 줘라 저기 이제 다지기 몽발라고 그래 말이고 근데 망보시다 디팅이 중대로 와서 근데 배제전도 상계 좀 된데 어제는 유팅시 배셔도 좀 봐. 캡시베 상계 멤버도 배셔는데 강사 되게 심제 되게 내바체네 네바디게다 뉴몬디게다 나자도 배셔디다 나자디게디 강사 더 심젠다 담만다기 셰발라 나자담다 유에데 아주 셰고 말해서 더 지워디 된서
저서 셰고 그래서
나자디시
상계는마다 심징이 있던 지마지진지 제투 말해서 되가라 다가랑 게 지기도 와서 직대래지 지 응걸도 용메스가 깨게 말아 좀 된데 좀더 마와 지기 파기 로 람딩 타수나 로라 바바 숨로 마도 좀 된데 랑 공부 닌 타도 닌저 말아 와서 딘디가라 쳇드 집에 늘자라 로 만다인다 코 텔라 바바지 소로와 되게 버차버려 지가 좀 된데 공부 타도 인고야 깨게요 말았어
So we said for this very same reason, that's why we say that we need to achieve enlightenment, because only after achieving enlightenment we won't be able to know afflictions or ignorance of other sentient beings that we want to help. So if you are enlightened, then you will be able to see what are the illness or disease that you need to be cured, or the second thing here is the different tenets and their philosophies, as said before, are taught according to the requirements of the different levels of followers. So there is no kind of philosophy which Buddha says Sangye Tartu Gomba Yomarise.
Tartu Gomba Thangu Gomba to the Tatewa. Tartu Gomba di Kazorena di Chorandino, Marenchago Marena dire Sedi, Sumidos, Chondendi, the Tapkabori.
So Buddha didn't, kind of the way he, he, although the middle way consequence school and the high tantric school, philosophy or practice are sort of ultimate, the highest level, but Buddha never, the way he taught, says that, this is what I think is the most correct, so you should learn this. He just kind of lay down, different, levels, and then, kind of leave it up to the followers and kind of fit, they can choose and, pick and go into where they feel is most kind of, appropriate for themselves. So that is.
Tinia, oh, Tilam Yagazin, the Nisior, the young Amjitan. Tilipol pay, but oh, Tilam Yagazin, the origin, do Sinene pay, Yalaga Mason Kale, Kalil Tigor, they talk about it.
So, Buddha shows the path, there's an option that, you look at and you pick up, and then, when you pick up, you have a strong feeling that, oh, this is completely correct to me, or you might say that, oh, this is right, I think this is correct. And then you learn that, a philosophy or concept, and then after, having complete understanding of that stage, you will have a feeling, or you will have ability or wisdom that, there is better path, higher path than what I've learned. Then you will go to the next level, and you learn that, and then you can see, there's this path that I need to be learning, based on my past experience. So step by step, one can kind of, climb up the top of the mountain. And so that's the reason why, again, we said before, skillful means or skillful, ways of teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Jidra Jemba Dang Kondo Sangbo Ndia Dejin de Da Gangi Jason da Lojin Yawan Dida Tamje Apo Tusum Shabe Yawa Tamje Moa Kangwa Chodo Maba Daji Leve Zawa Digen Ya Zangbo Jinje Rabdo Moa Raiki. Korwe Shinkam Japenda Newa Mali Jingwe Jere Zewon Tenzin Gyatsoyi Shabe Zide Batu Denjuji. In the land of circled by snow-white mountains, the source of all happiness and benefits flows near person, generously, Tenzin Gyatso, remain until samsara ends. Just as the Bodhisattva Manjushri attain omniscience and surrounded by Juju, so now devoted to business. As all the victorious Buddhas of past, present, and future praise dedication to Supreme, so now do dedicate these sources of mind, for all things to perfect good actions.
Oh, yeah, thank you.